to this month's monthly update for USDA foods. So as always, we're going to talk about any questions that you have related to, like Michelle said, slides 1 through 22, and USDA foods program updates. So including everything with direct shipment, DoD fresh, processing, including our 2027 contracts, and some information on the catalog that's coming up in February, and then answer any burning questions that you have about USDA foods. Okay, we're going to start with our favorite little picture here of our timeline, just to show you where we're at. So right now we're still in December, so we are still in that fourth delivery order period that's going on. So deliveries are starting to happen this week and next week. And I will pass it off to Michelle for direct shipment.
Thanks, Melissa. And thanks for driving, Wendy. Okay, so USDA direct shipment, we actually just had a school catch this. Way to go. We hope that that everybody's on top of it and paying attention to this, especially as we continue through the school year. We really need your help to make sure that your eyes and ears are open to find out if you receive too much or too little. We need you to report those discrepancies. If you are receiving product that isn't yours, it is somebody else's. It's probably the next delivery or somebody down the line. If it wasn't from somebody behind you, but yeah, please report it. If your driver is the one who is enticing you or asking you to take product because they want to empty their truck, please tell them, no, you're not allowed to take it. If it's not yours, you shouldn't be. That's a risk for title transfer, and we'll get to that in a second. And we've talked about this the last couple of months. But if you are running into issues with the driver, we need to know. US Foods, our contact with them, will work with their drivers to make sure that things are handled appropriately, but we need to know so that we can report it to them. So please let us know if you're running into any issues with drivers upon delivery. If the driver says, I have to get to the next stop and I'm running late, it's okay for you to tell them that they have to wait. I understand that they might be disappointed in that response. But again, we need you to double check your deliveries. And I will tell you, like literally minutes ago, we had somebody tell us that the driver did leave before they had a chance to check their whole order. And they did identify discrepancies. So that timeliness makes a big difference in whether or not we're able to get that food relocated during the same delivery route. So please, again, I appreciate your attention with that. Check your invoices, count the cases, and then please report discrepancies in Primero Edge. And if you need to, you can email the FDP email inbox, or you can call me directly. This screen just shows you where you can report your delivery discrepancy. So it's underneath that inventory item, and then you have to make sure that you're selecting the correct school year program, and then of course report that discrepancy there next to the orange star on the screen. So this is just some like friendly reminders. We're all working hard to make sure that everybody gets what they need, and not checking for the correct items and quantities delays shipments for everyone. And the reason we're going through this again this month is because it does have a ripple effect. And so we really want to make sure that you are going in to look at your orders report and have a copy on hand at receiving so you know what to expect. Make sure that what you're taking off that truck matches your orders report. And then also any paperwork you receive from the vendor. Do not receive more cases than were ordered for you. And like I said a couple minutes ago, please feel free to call me. or report your discrepancies after if you've had issues with the driver, excuse me, you can call us immediately and we can help work that out. So I mentioned title transfer, and the thing that we want you to be aware of with contract terms, uh, when you sign off that you've received that product, the title has transferred. And the reason that that matters is because we've contracted with US Foods to move that product for us. And once you accept that liability, US Foods does not have to come back and collect that product if you've accepted it inappropriately. So that means that like you could potentially be responsible for making sure that that product gets where it needs to go. And we just want you to be aware of that risk. But right now, US Foods has, in most cases, been able to help us sort out those issues. A quick reminder that the delivery order period for November and December product is December 1st through the 12th. And then everybody will be on winter break.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, we're just going to review quickly DoD. So we manage DoD through favors. There's the favors website link. This is the fresh fruit and vegetable order receipt system. This is a screenshot from the favors page. This shows you how you can monitor your DoD budget. So you'll just look on that left-hand side menu and you can click on current fund balances. If you're already allocated money for DoD July through December, you'll see those funds right now in your account. It's just July through December. So make sure you're monitoring in favors. It's not in Primero Edge. We like to link this to, this is the favors customer ordering manual. The government updated it in January. It's actually very good. There's lots of good resources on here. So if you haven't jumped onto this before, I would encourage you just to take a couple minutes and look at it. It shows you how to place orders, how to change or delete pending orders, how to look at past orders, how to edit, review receipts. It will show fund balances. They'll have latest news and information on how to contact your DLA account specialist or the favors help desk. I'll also show you how to run reports. So yeah, it's a great resource. So please check it out. Just a reminder that produce orders with a delivery date on or before December 31st will be counted towards these July through December fund balances. If something rolls into your kitchen January 1st on, it's going towards your next allocation. So just remember that. It's got to be delivered by December 31st. And we're getting the January through June budget all ready to go right now, and we're hoping to have that ready by December 15th. So you'll be able to see how much money you'll have for the upcoming next 6 months. And we will pass it off to Melissa for processing.
Thanks, Wendy. Okay, so we've mentioned this last month, but it's really important, so we want to mention it again, just in case you weren't able to attend last time. If you guys do not have enough processing pounds, just remember that you should be contacting your processor to discuss the options for potentially getting you some more pounds. So please stay in touch with your processors. They might be able to bring in pounds from other schools within our state or from other states if those pounds are available elsewhere. If the pounds are not available, then you'll need to plan to pay the commercial price for anything that's not covered with your available pound balances. As always, it's important that you're actively monitoring your pound balances so your accounts don't go into a negative balance. These can negatively impact our state overall and just make it harder for us to get extra pounds or be able to cover those negative balances throughout the year at the end of the school year. So again, just make sure that you're actively monitoring your account and then plan ahead for any orders that you have upcoming. On the flip side, if you have too many pounds that you don't plan on using, you should also contact your processor so they can help move those pounds again to other schools or even other states. Just like with the negative balances, extra pounds can have an impact on our overall state inventory. Um, if those pounds sit unused, it can make it harder for us to get extra pounds that other schools can use. So just remember, if you have pounds that you're not planning on using or something has changed with your menu, just reach out to the processor. They'll work with you and work with us to move those pounds. Um, so yeah, just make sure that you're monitoring all your things and reaching out to your processors. And I'll turn it back over to Michelle.
We have got some new information for you that we're putting together to help out with some things. And I'm going to share my screen really quick. And we're going to go over to NSLP Central. And talk about the catalog for a little bit. Will you please let me know if you can see this? Does it need to be a little bit bigger for anybody out there? For some reason, I cannot see the chat anymore. So if Wendy, Melissa, are we good?
Yeah, we can see it, and I will monitor chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. So on NSLP Central, if you scroll down to USDA foods in schools and then open up this catalog tab, there is a new resource called Getting Ready for the USDA Foods in Schools catalog. This guide is intended to be a quick overview with some tips that we've heard from ACTA, we've gotten from different locations, and ACTA is the food distribution equivalent for the School Nutrition Association, but they're a national group. And it goes over the general timeline. We also are starting, are bringing back a voting process to add more catalog items. I will go into more detail about what that means. And then we have catalog planning tips, things that you're going to want to start doing now if you haven't already. And at the bottom, these are some of the things that you might want to look at to determine whether or not you're going to order it or how much you're going to order or request, I should say, on the catalog next year. So usually around now, we're hearing from USDA about what foods are going to be available for the upcoming school year and what we'll be including on our catalog for the state of Utah. And the thing, I'm sure everybody is hyper aware that there was a roadblock not too long ago with the government. So now we are in a delay, basically. And generally speaking, the timeline that we've been on the last 3 years is we receive information to start this process from USDA actually like a week from now, all the way through the first week of January. So I know that there are some of you out there who are waiting on processing bids. And there's some concerns about like what will happen with that. If you've got questions, feel free to reach out to your specialist, or if you want to pop them in the chat, we will do what we can to answer them here. But what we're waiting on right now is that the processor material prices. What we did in this document is actually link. Hopefully it will work. I have to hit Control and click. Fun fact, if you're at home trying this with me. But the processor material prices will be listed here once they become available, but we will announce them as soon as they are available. And that's what you're going to want to use for that value when you're calculating your discounts and rebates for processing. in December, once we have the USDA foods available list, which is everything that's available for the catalog nationwide, and our state entitlement, we start preparing the planned assistance level allocations that you receive and you view in Primero Edge. You'll get those, and then we also are going to be doing our voting in December, and that communication will be happening via email. So we'll make some announcements in MailChimp and possibly in Primero Edge as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Again, I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a minute. And then winter break happens for most schools, and then we're preparing again based on the results from the vote and the planned assistance levels, what we need to get done for the catalog based on the items USDA has told us about. And then everybody's favorite time of year, February, we're completing the catalog. We're right now planning to open it on February 2nd and close it February 20th. So it'll be open for 3 weeks. And then during that time, if you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to us. There will be collaboration opportunities like there were last year, and in January, we will go over those details at the monthly update. And then we can also give you additional information if needed that first week of February to let you know how you guys can collaborate to try and meet those minimum quantities. We did have some success with that last year, so we'd be really interested to hear your feedback about that, and also how things went with issuing all entitlement basically to the state of Utah. We didn't have anything left over this year. After February, we start ordering in March for the following school year. So that's why the catalog and processing and everything is on a pretty tight timeline. USDA does not budge on those ordering timelines. And if we don't get in on that early, because Utah is not geographically it's a large state, but because our volume isn't as high, we really need to make sure we're coordinating with neighboring states in order to bring in the product. So that's why March is really important for us as a state, and for you. Anyways, you'll see the catalog results to know what we're ordering for the most part in spring, just like you did last year. Hopefully we'll be able to go over that in more detail at spring conference. And then also we double check that delivery schedule with US Foods, our state contracted warehouse for those state agency direct shipments. And then July 1 is the new school year and we do it all over again. I'm gonna pause really quick and see if there's stuff in the chat. Go ahead. I can see. Melissa is answering. There was a question about a product listed on the US Foods invoice that wasn't listed in Primero Edge. Melissa, do you mind answering that one live?
I would love to. It's also been put into the Q&A that the chat is disabled. So if you have questions, it sounds like you just need to use the Q&A boxes. I don't know if that's something that we can check on. So the chat might be disabled.
The chat is disabled, so only
Okay.
Q&A.
Okay, perfect. So to answer the question again, I'll repeat it. If you received product that was not listed, like if you didn't order the product but it showed up at your doorstep, how should you handle that? If you received the wrong product, like let's say you got diced peaches instead of diced pears, go into Primero Edge and report that discrepancy, like we showed you in the previous slides, and just indicate that you didn't get your pears. And then if you're able to enter a comment, just let us know that you got like peaches instead. and then you're going to upload your delivery paperwork, and then we can see that when we go in there to review it. If you got everything that you ordered and extra cases, just email us at the Utah FDP and then also include your delivery paperwork so we can send that to US Foods. Unfortunately, there's not a way right now in Primero Edge to like add in a line and say that you got X number of, cases that you did not order. So this is going to be the best way that we can get that information from you.
Thank you for taking my question, Melissa. I just want to make sure it wasn't about what I was going over. Okay. So going back up really quick, any questions about the general timeline or what to expect in the coming months for the catalog? Just about the general timeline. Okay. The vote to add more catalog items. So each year, USDA announces a foods available list. And depending on how familiar you are with USDA foods, you may have visited the Food Nutrition Services website to see what foods are available. If you go under USDA Foods and Schools product, there's a USDA Foods available list. They will update this each school year. USDA Foods and Schools is at the bottom here. And if you click on the foods available list, this is what USDA posts and what we are anxiously anticipating in order to start the catalog prep. The foods available list is what you're actually seeing on this webpage. And then the list of materials report shows you the material number, the food's description, pack size, and most importantly, the estimated price per pound or per case, depending on what it is. And also this gives you an idea of what a truck will cost for the state, depending on what we order. The reason that is helpful is because because we are a smaller state, in order to get that volume in, there are minimum orders to bring in trucks depending on what the product is. And we do coordinate with other states as much as possible to bring in a high variety of products. But we do want the opportunity for schools to be able to vote to find out what you might want to see on the catalog to request new items from that foods available list that we don't typically have on the Utah catalog. We've been watching demand and things, and once in a while have added new things. But this way, you get to see the full list and everybody gets an opportunity to cast a ballot to find out or to see if we can add a new item to the list for the catalog in February. So the current plan for this is we're going to want you to watch for announcements about the vote. It will likely be a Qualtrics link, but it'll basically be a form and you'll be casting a ballot. You get to pick 5 items from a list that we give you, and we will show you the comparison of what's typically on the catalog versus items that are not typically on the catalog. And then we want you to rank those items from your first choice to your last choice. These instructions will also be on that form, but we just wanted you to know what was coming. And then you'll submit that form before the voting period closes, and we'll share the results from the vote and what products will be added to the catalog in February. For people who have been around for a while, we used to do something like this, and there was a lot of confusion about what the actual catalog was versus the other opportunity to add items. I want to make sure that we're really clear. This is voting to add additional items to the catalog in February. This is not going to be the catalog. This is not a pre-survey or a pre-catalog. It's just a vote. So the next phase after we have those results will be to complete the catalog for the state of Utah. And again, these are just some tips that we've come across with other states. And from ACTA, it's just meant to be a quick checklist. And then you can print off this template if you'd like to, or download it and fill it out. But just to put the item, the past usage, to look at kind of what you've been doing over the last couple of years and whether or not it's worth considering changing your plan. The other thing that we wanted to mention on here is to have a backup plan. That's not like, keep that in perspective, but we do our best to order and meet as many requests as possible. And just sometimes it doesn't happen. And then of course you're aware this year we've had some cancellations, we've had delays. So that's just something to keep in mind, that with like national competition, that's just part of supply chain. But we'll keep you informed about those things as often and as quickly as we can. Any questions about catalog prep, this resource, timelines, anything we can help with? Thank you, Wendy. That is such a great question. As far as let me read it, sorry. What are the top 5 most popular products in direct delivery the past year as a small school? And when we submit the catalog order, we usually don't get what we ordered and lose PAL. I will we'll look into the catalog results, and we can share in January what the most popular items were. We can definitely do that for the last year. But hopefully the collaboration documents that we tried last year that were successful for at least us obtaining more volume, that might be an opportunity for you to collaborate with some of your neighbors to get product into. So we'll take a deeper look at that in January for sure. Melissa or Wendy, do you know one of the top 5 to 3 products off the top of your head?
Not for school year 25-26, but for school year 24-25, as far as like state agency direct shipments, it was the 1021 mozzarella shredded cheese, 101.58 ground beef, 100 220 diced peaches, 100 225 diced pears, and then the 110361 applesauce cups.
Thanks, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Can you order more than 105%? That's the goal. And Peggy, without looking at like like everybody should look at their individual orders to find out what's going on with PAL. Um, it depends on whether or not the product was, well, there's half a dozen variables, to be honest with you, about why PAL goes up and down. So if you're curious about how to read your report and find out what was going on specifically with your case, I'm happy to go over some of those scenarios with you. And Gwen has some pulled pork she'd like to share if anyone is interested. She's included her email in the Q&A. Thanks, Gwen. Pulled pork, anyone? Gwen is, Gwen is with Murray School District. So in the Valley, Salt Lake Valley. Elena gets bonus points. She's the one who reported it not too long ago. We're trying to get it remedied in the chat. This is great. Any questions about the catalog or anything else in general that you'd like to see in monthly updates from USDA Foods? Anything else that would be helpful in preparing for the catalog for February that we might be able to support you with?
Okay, I feel bad because I came in late, but where is a good place to get started to find this information? I'll look at the recording at the end of the week, but where's a good place for me to get started? Is it just in NSLP Central, normal standard answer?
Margot, I'm going to show you. And also, don't feel bad. We're all busy. We're all trying to juggle a million things. Let me share my screen really quick and show you where you can get started. That's what these meetings are for. That's all right. Okay. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So under the catalog, which is located under USDA Foods on NSLP Central, you will see the thing I would start with is this catalog guide and getting ready. It'll go over the general timeline. We talked about the voting. I'm not sure if we're here for that, but basically everything that we shared is available here for you to get started. The other thing that you can take a look at in preparation, just to know what the catalog is if you're unfamiliar with it, are the training videos that tells you how long they are, and they're split out by, there are three different programs with USDA foods. DoD is usually where people get started. Then they move to direct shipment, and depending on your comfort level, some people will do processing, some people don't. There are co-ops that participate in that too. I feel like I just gave you USDA foods in 30 seconds or less. But does that help?
Yep, that's exactly best place for me to go. Thank you.
Yep. But definitely get started with this guide first. Anyone else? Give it another minute before we close out. But if there is anything that would be helpful for you and prep for that catalog in the upcoming months, we'd love to know.